The final presentation in this section from Conley Kriegler on the utility of virtual sessions to inform medical students about radiation oncology residency programs. All right, and then we're working on unmuting you again, Conley, and then you can take it from here.
Awesome. So thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out for, I'm sure, a long day of all of these. So here we go to get started. So as we all probably know, visiting electives and in-person interviews historically have been viewed as important for medical students' ranking of residency programs and getting to know the potential programs that they may apply to. Now, unfortunately, then COVID happened, and that led to the adoption of virtual program information sessions to replace elements of electives and in-person interviews. However, it's somewhat unknown whether medical students perceive these information sessions as useful for their residency selection. As a result, our study aimed to determine if medical students find sessions useful and feel that they should continue after elective restrictions are lifted, as well as to identify ways to improve these sessions if students do ultimately wish for them to continue. So, essentially, we designed some surveys to assess both medical student and residency program member perspectives on virtual program information sessions. And you can see some examples of some of our survey questions here on the right. Pardon me. These were distributed to registered attendees of sessions that occurred during the 2022 to 2023 Canadian Resident Matching Service cycle. So for those who wouldn't be aware, that occurred about 16 months ago. And at that time, there were still visiting elective restrictions, so students couldn't travel or do in-person interviews. So, oh, oops, I'll go back one here. Okay, there we go. Despite me hosting a bunch of Zoom things, doing these things, I'm not that great at Zoom now. So, amongst the 25 students who had registered to attend these sessions at our institution, 18 completed the surveys. Overall, students endorsed that sessions were useful and felt that they should continue even if in-person restrictions are lifted. Additionally, oh boy. Additionally, we found that virtual sessions informed areas historically most well informed by in-person activities like visiting electives and in-person interviews. So that included conveying information about the program culture, resident experiences and morale at the program, and emphasizing the program director's philosophy. So in addition to that, some of the endorsed benefits of the sessions do seem to be unique to a virtual format. That included it having free attendance, minimal time commitment, gaining exposure to more programs than would otherwise be possible, and that this is actually a less stressful setting to be able to interact with prospective programs. The remainder of the endorsed benefits can be seen here on the right as well. In addition to that, there were actually quite limited negatives reported. So just in case you weren't keeping tabs, from our 1 to 5 Likert scale, 3 would correspond to the neither disagree nor agree, and 2 and 1 were disagree or strongly disagree. So the only things that we found that were negative, although just barely over that 3 mark, were that information was repetitive and that there could be pressure or expectation to attend. Additionally, the improvements that students suggested were quite simple. Some that make a lot of sense to me are hosting sessions at different times so that it's easier for people across the country and in different time zones to attend. Pardon me. Having more time for direct resident-student interactions and submitting questions in advance, probably so that you're not having that classic awkward sitting around waiting for the first person to break the ice. Another interesting one was having only residents present for at least some of the session, maybe to facilitate asking some hard-hitting questions. And then finally, students supported having more free-form QA time, recording and sharing the sessions for students who weren't able to attend, and then also having cameras on. So, in conclusion, we found that virtual program information sessions are useful to medical students and that they should continue after in person restrictions are lifted. These sessions provide unique benefits with limited detriment, as well. Simple changes to sessions may further increase the utility for students, and our future directions would include follow up research with students like who completed matching this past year, who attended virtual sessions, as well as completing in-person activities. And that is it. Sorry for all the sniffles during this, but I'm happy to take any questions from you guys.